Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve, this is Everyday Artist, and welcome. This is Rogue. Um, it is very early in the morning on Memorial Day. We have another showing. So I was going to film last night and I was just like, no. I forgot to get out my sock, but I'll get it in a minute. So Memorial Day. I have many family members on both sides that were in the armed forces, but I'm putting a picture here of my uncle, whom I never met. Now, most of my aunts and uncles I am quite familiar with, or was, while they were still alive, but this particular young man was missing in action during World War II. And that event had a cascade effect in our family. Sorry, my glasses, I've got to get them adjusted. They keep sliding down my face. My grandmother was notified by telegram and, of course, was distraught. One of my aunts, being the oldest, stayed at home from school with her, and they didn't call school because they were dealing with a young man that probably wasn't going to come back. They finally declared him dead a long time later. But one of her teachers was annoyed that she had not come to school with no notice. And she tried to explain, and this teacher was very rude to her. This particular aunt is not she does not reply nicely to anything. She could be very, caustic, without cursing, just says her mind. And so that teacher was very angry, and of course my aunt walked out. She did go back to class, but it was not a happy thing. Along comes my brother a few years later, her brother, my father, a few years later, and no matter what kind of work my son, what is wrong with me? My father did, she would give him a bad grade, to the point where he had to go to the administration and say, look, and they gave him some final test, I think his final, so that he could pass out of class. And of course he passed it. My father was a math genius. He also was in the service. He was in the Korean War. And you've seen a painting I did of a picture that was taken of him at that time. But he worked for the Sandia Labs, and one of his jobs was with computers, and he did quite a bit of work. I mean, all his life he worked there, working on computers and programming them, and he was a systems analyst. So the fact that he couldn't pass this math class with this lady was evidence of her bias against him. But like I said, my aunt, she was not one who minced words, and rightly so in this particular case. I think that we'd all like to believe that families who lost loved ones in whatever war were treated with dignity and respect by everyone, but it doesn't always happen. Thank God things have changed a little bit to where we are recognizing the sacrifice these young men made. He was very young. And my father, when he was in Korea, he started in teens. He decided that since he couldn't afford to go to college, he would go, and he signed up instead of being, asked to go or anything like that. But fortunately, he did not see any action. That was not the case for my other uncle that was in World War II. So I had to really decide if I wanted to film on Memorial Day. But I will not see you again this month. It'll be June by the time we come back. And I did want to show what I've been working on the rest of May and what I will work on. And so I have a pile. Not all of it is stitching. Now, I'm going to disappear from the screen. I pulled out all this top part of the sock and I redid it. And does it fit perfectly? No. But it fits better. And I'm going to take this out so you can see it. This is all that's left of the little ball. And I have about another inch I'm supposed to do here before I do the ribbing. This is about an inch here, right? So I'm not sure if I will have enough. So I will maybe do an inch and a half before I do the ribbing. So just to try to make sure I have enough yarn. I've really enjoyed working on this sock. I have other projects when the sock is bothering me, that I have been doing. And one of those, I think I showed you, is the rose. I have no plans for this rose. Who knows where it'll end up. It may just stay in the bag. I'm not going to unravel it just because I had fun making it. So I have been having trouble seeing. When I was trying to start the video, I couldn't even see if it said photo, video, or whatever. I accidentally took a picture. These are new glasses. And I was warned that I'm going to need cataract surgery, and I think it's going to have to be sooner rather than later, so we'll see. So to that end, I've been struggling with things like Moonlit Moth. The pattern is white, not background, not dark background, so you can see the pattern better, but I wasn't able to track it. So I purchased, my sister has one, but I just decided to get my own, a magnetic board, and this ruler is the key for me, because I can set it across, if I put this on here, I can set it across this, just to double check things, but across my pattern, so that I can tell side to side what's going on. So that's been really helpful, and I was able to get this tail, which if it's this way it makes sense, but since it's not, I didn't want to have the stitches going the wrong way. So, and then I turned the pattern, the magnet this way, so that I can work across here. I did accidentally go over, there's supposed to be another little hole, like right there. Is it going to matter in the long run? No. So I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to try to fix it. There's no point in going all the way back, right? And that was before I got the pattern holder. So, yeah. So I got that. That helped me. And then I was... I was wanting to do another painting, and I did this. Now, I hate the flowers, but the bird I'm not too unhappy with. Rogue is going to bark here in a second. The bird I'm not too unhappy with. So, yeah, I mean, the plant could be better and all. Watercolor are not my thing. But I wanted a frame for the other one I did with the flower. I just want an inexpensive frame. No, they don't make square ones. So I said, fine. I got myself a different shape pad and did another painting of a different quail. I saw a quail. I was going out to get something else, but I was going out of the house, and there was a quail sitting on top of a bush. He looked so cute. So I took a picture. Here's a picture. My painting does not look like the picture. Okay. So I hope I remember to put the picture here. Anyway, I'm not as happy with this bird because there should be more definition in the wings and stuff. The flowers are marginally better. And yes, the flower in that picture looked like a hat, right? So, am I happy with either of those? No. But I enjoyed painting them, so. Let's talk about this moth. Luna by designed by Chelsea Haynes of Annie B's Folk Art. As I said, I was having trouble tracking where things were. So I took this out once because I didn't leave these little spots for the different color. And when I put it back in, I saw this as the same as these. It's not. There's an extra stitch, which means it's too short. Now, ask me if I care. There should be an ending on it here. I ran out of that green thread, and I said, well. So I might go ahead and put another one. It'll make it different size than the others. I don't care. I'm not going to put them all together in a row. They're just individual little smalls to me. So also, when I counted from here to this one, and then to this one, and this is one stitch off. So when I lined up on this is off. When I lined up for this, so it's all one, from here, it's one stitch too far over. This is fine. This is not going to line up where it should here, but it'll be okay, right? I'm like, I'm not going to take all that out. By the time I realized what was going on, I was doing this wing. And I was like, oh no, I'm just going to have to make the other side the same. So, it'll be a different size up and down. It'll be a different size side to side. Two stitches off side to side, and probably one or two stitches difference up and down. And I don't care because she's cute. and it'll work out. So, and when I was putting this brown in here, there's supposed to be brown flecks around here, but that's okay because there's going to be brown in the wings, so it'll be all right. It'll turn out fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The other dog is waking up, so she's going to go nuts. She can't wait for her to wake up every time. For him, it's a boy. My son gets mad at me if I say her. It's my dog's a her, so I'm used to saying her. And I accidentally called him a her. Robert wasn't here. And I said, no, him. And I said, I'm sorry, I misgendered you. The dog looks at me like, I don't understand anything you're saying anyway. There's a hare in my garden I bury with hands-on design, and it is coming along. I'm going to have to adjust the template to account for the fact that it's going to be flatter, because if I lower it to where I have room for this, then yeah, so yeah, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Look at, I'm starting a bunny. There's a wheel that looks like this. It's not a wheel, it's a flower that goes in here on either side. But I figured I'd do the bunnies all the way across because then there's more of them all over up above. So I'm loving this pattern. It's so cute. Yeah, I really like it. I wish I hadn't started too shallow. The side to side I'm not as worried about. But Under the Sea temperature chart, it's designed by myself, and I added a turtle. Now, I changed this turtle from the one that I uploaded with file, and if you have the older one and you want this one, I will happily send you the file. I just made his arms and legs longer. And it has been hot. We got to 105 one day. Now it's cold again. Okay, not cold. Low 90s. 10 degrees. It's cooler. And yet, I can't get the black dog to stop laying out in the sun. Like, it's 100 degrees out here. Can you please come in out of the sun, out of the heat? He loves being outside. This one will come in when I call. That one, not so much. Okay, hands-on design again. I was watching her Flosstube. And they were showing all of the patriotic patterns that she's had in the past. She has one coming up. I'm hoping it's for the 250th 50th of the United States, which comes next month. This year is the 250th of the Armed Forces. But she was talking about this, and she said people were doing them as biscornus. And I went, biscornu. Because here's the one I'm working on. And it's fine side to side. It's a little on the short side, but it's fine. I'm going to be fine this way. But the other two were really short on one side. Not on all the sides, but on one side. And I said, if I scorn you, that won't matter. So I started sewing it into a biscornu. I started this yesterday, so I'm 3/4, not quite halfway around maybe. So it's going to make a biscornu. This is the bottom and this is the top. So I'm going to have to find a button that goes with this color, so I'm going to take it with me. And 2 buttons. And I need more stuffing. But I thought, brilliant. That's brilliant. Because that way I don't have to worry about making sure that I get right in the right spot, you know, to try to, because I wasn't going to finish it as a pillow. So, yeah. Okay, so, more haul. So I had ordered some fabric that I've been waiting on from France, that from the same company that I got the red fabric from, for doing, this is Boomerang Stitches, ruby-throated hummingbird. But I didn't want to do it on white. I wanted to do it on blue. And I ordered what I thought were 2 colors of blue. I got a gray and a blue. This is a bluish gray, but it is not as blue as what was in the picture. It's not as blue as what was in the picture. However, it is beautiful, and they are both sparkly. Now I have to decide which one I want to use. I like them both. I do a floss toss with all of the threads shortly before I start. Both of them are big enough. The size isn't an issue. They're not huge pieces of fabric. But plenty big enough for this project. Not for much else. But the price was good and the fabric was shiny. So there is that. Now, for Whip Go, so I'm ready for all of my cross stitch camp pieces. For Whip Go, for June, well, there's 2 things. The 2 pieces I want to concentrate on. Now, I'm going to finish my cross-stitch camp piece before I even think about working on either of these. This is Winter Reindeer by Dirty Annie's Southern Style. I keep looking for her patterns, and I really like them, but I haven't found any that spoke to me as much as this round of patterns did. These all came out the same year. The OMG, You Got Me a Tree and stuff like that. Let's see, she has a copyright date on this. 2022. So I think I got this the year after she put it out. This is where I am. There is some kind of miscounting in here. I'm going to put that little ruler across and see where the mistake is, and then I'm going to mark it on the pattern so that I can do the other side exactly the same. And if I had had that to begin with, yeah, the thing probably wouldn't have happened. I lose track of where I am, which is why I love Pattern Keeper. But I've been getting a lot of paper patterns. Sweet Wings Studio, Goodness and Mercy. This is another one I want to concentrate on. And I am not very far along. Just have to put Mercy under there. And I want to make this bird a quail. So, doesn't it look like a quail? You saw the big quail, right? I just love quail. They're little, we call it a top knot. I don't know what it's actually called. And then I have 2 new starts that are from WhipGo. These new starts, I will not do them like the 1st and the 15th like I've been doing. After I finish the cross stitch camp piece, which hopefully will not take the entire month, because I'm going to really push on that. I'm going to start this. This is Silver Creek Samplers, A Sweet Memory. And it says, seems like only yesterday that you were very small and left for me a memory of a handprint on the wall. And you have to understand, my son loved playing in mud and being dirty. But I'm not going to put the ducks in the blocks. The teddy bear, yeah, I don't mind leaving the teddy bear. He had a teddy bear. My son, by the time I got him at 2.5, he didn't play with blocks and ducks. I never knew him when he was learning to walk. But I designed a bottom part, and I haven't got so far as to print it out or anything like that. But I measured it out and how it would fit down here. And it's goggles and towels, because from the moment I got him, he liked being in the water. So he went on doing competition swimming all the way through high school. So first for USA team and then for his high school team. Excuse me. So I just designed some goggles and towels for the bottom. I think that's all I did. Anyway, the next time when I start this, I'll show that part to you. And then the other new start I'm kind of excited about. This is Cougar Canyon, and it is by Pigeon Coop Designs. So very Arizona, right? But I need the right fabric for it. And I have some white 14 count Aida that I may dye in a light tan. I think that would look nice. I can get a light tan, but I already have this other 14 count. She's eating her nails. And so it's crunchy. Anyway, I hope you guys have a nice Memorial Day. I know a lot of people, they picnic, they go to the lake, they, do things. Our Memorial Day is usually much more quiet. And this year we have no real plans for today. But I'm going to have to look at my fabrics, because I want to maybe dye a few fabrics for a couple of things. And my sister's dyeing fabrics, so yeah. Anyway, I'll see you soon, and happy stitching, and have a great and safe Memorial Day. Thanks.